Welcome to the Classes Permanent Podcast. Today is Tuesday, April 7th. We have episode 34 here for you, and we have a doozy. Today, we're going to be jumping in to some of the news from around the world. We're going to get into a recap from this past weekend, some FA Cup, La Liga, and other games from around the world. We'll get into a bracketology, our final of the year here, as the national championship game is being played as Pucc and I speak. We'll jump into a Champions League preview, have some awesome games. We have the quarterfinals coming up. A lot of good stuff here. Let's get into it. Away we go.
Classes permanent! Hey, 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 form is temporary!
Alrighty. I am joined by a man who looks like he's not wearing his sling, which I think might be good news. Daniel Latoisha Capucci. What's up, Pooch?
What's up, E? How are you?
I'm well, Pooch. Are you wearing the sling? Is the camera just that bad?
Nope, I'm not wearing the sling.
Okay. So, I mean,
You want to know?
that's good news, right?
You want to know how I'm going to be moving now?
How you going to be moving?
Boom. Can you see my screen?
Obviously, you guys cannot see this. Yeah, Pooch has shared his screen, and it is just Tiger Woods memes, but it's in particular the DUI mugshot meme. Pooch just got off the phone with the president.
Yep, I just got off the phone with the president, people. You know, I'm on one knee. I'm sitting there, and it looks like I'm about to talk to a group of 10-year-olds about why they lost 10-0 in a Little League baseball game. There's so many memes I could do, Tiger Woods, but I feel great. I actually, the PT said, I asked on Friday after my sling was taken off, I said, hey, by the way, since no sling now, can I, possibly go for a run, cheeky run? And they said verbatim, they went, I mean, you could do a light little jog. They cracked that door open just a bit. I'm going to knock it down.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. I'm knocking it down. Today, during my lunch break, I went for a 7.5 mile cycle on the stationary bike. And then I did some core workout, and I've never felt better. I mean, first time in
you look phenomenal.
4.5 months, I've been able to actually do some sort of physical activity. So I feel great.
Good. You look great. I wish people could see you. You're glowing through the screen here. So I'm happy for you.
I put the screen on, like the lighting.
The filter?
Yeah, the lighting filter on. So
understood. You put the Tina Turner St. Louis jerseys on.
Yep. I'm 100%.
We'll get into this in our recap. I actually saw those in person, very close up, but we'll get into that later. Good. That's great news. So what is next steps here? So now you're going on light jogs. When do we get back into normal jogs and then hopefully soccer?
I don't know. I mean, my plan still is mid-May to golf, to at least try to look like I'm golfing.
Golf has got to be like so much worse on your shoulder than running. You're like swinging your shoulder.
Yeah. I just won't.
Okay, so I assume by then you could do everything.
Well, I just won't tell the doctor that I'm golfing.
Okay, you could actually golf right now then, Pooch.
See, Ethan, you would think, but over the weekend I picked up a golf club and tried to swing it. Didn't even get 90 degrees. I got maybe a 30, 45 degree angle on my shoulder. So it didn't feel great when I went that high, and I was doing it slow motion. So for a month and a half away, I don't know if I'll be able to golf, but I'm going to try. I think June 1st is still probably the all systems go mark in terms of back to feeling great. But then again, I also got a prescription for an extra 2 months of PT, which puts me at the beginning of June. So my guess is beginning of June will probably be all systems go, but we'll see.
This has been the craziest dislocated shoulder of all time.
I know.
You're almost going to go like 9 months. Longer. No, shorter.
Well,
like 8 months.
Well, also you're forgetting the torn labrum aspect of it. But
that's true. Well, I guess if you guys handled that earlier, if they handled it like right from the jump, like when the night you tore your shoulder. They couldn't
have told though. I was speaking with former producer Brett, and he said,
good guy.
He said that they can't tell until the swelling goes down in your shoulder anyway from the dislocation. So when I went was at the 2-week mark when it would be the best, like the first time you'd actually be able to see if I tore
Okay.
something. So I
That was it? It took you only 2 weeks? I feel like you were
a
like it took you like
diso
a month and a half to
a
go.
dislocated no, it took me like 2 weeks because it was right around
Okay.
it was like a few days before Christmas, and I got the dislocation mid-December.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, so it was like 2 weeks, and normally 2 weeks is what they say for like a dislocation, like 2 weeks in a sling, and then you're basically good to go.
Right. I remember we were calling you Pucciolmo.
Yeah.
Wow, that was early days of the show. One day it's gonna be like 10 years from now. The show's gonna be like blown up. Like we're super famous. We have merch. We have a baller league team,
Mm-hmm.
just called Classes Permanent. We're gonna remember when you tore your labrum the first time. But let's get into the news. Pooch didn't like that because this was the first time he tore it, meaning that there would be a second time. Let's get into
Well,
the
it's
news
going to be
here.
the other shoulder next time. Because I'm putting so much emphasis on this shoulder now
Yes,
that I'm going to tear this one.
that is true. So when do you wait real quick? Because last episode. So for the I'm just about to say for those that don't know, no one would know because this was after we spoke to Gennaro. You talked about like just in we were having a little back and forth. You talked about the thing you're most excited to do is sleep on your shoulder.
Oh,
Are we back to
my
sleeping on our
God,
shoulder?
Ethan. Saturday night, I slept horizontal for the first time in 4.5 months.
Oh my God.
Ethan, I don't remember what it was like that first sleep when you're born, but I'm guessing it was somewhere close
Fair.
to that. I slept, no joke, 10.5 hours.
Yeah,
Friday night into Saturday, 10.5 hours horizontal. Best sleep I've ever gotten in my that I can remember in my life.
It was probably like so restful. It was like borderline death.
Yes.
Like you just experienced like the peacefulness of death, but
Ethan,
you like woke up.
Zero dreams. Not a single dream.
Wow.
But I went to
Okay.
bed.
That might be concerning.
I went to bed laying like horizontal, and then I woke
Yeah.
up, and the room I was sleeping in one of my brother's rooms because I was at home for Easter, and
Yeah.
I guess my mom cracked the window or whatever. So I'm waking up,
Okay.
and it's not like you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I have to get to work. I have to get a shower and like all
Right,
that.
right. Oh, you have nowhere to go.
You're just waking up, and there's like a bit of sunlight.
And the Lord has risen.
Yep, there's a bit of sunlight creeping through the window into the room. The window's open, the birds are chirping, and you're just like, oh my God. Like I literally laid there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, I don't want to move. Like that was amazing. Like that was awesome sleep. I highly recommend anybody, if you have to, I would recommend not tearing your labrum, but if you get into tearing your labrum, or even, you want to know what?
You get into it.
Want to know what? Try sleeping horizontal for a week. Or, sorry, vertical, like sitting up for a week.
Yes.
Try that for a week, and then the next day, on the 8th day, lay horizontal, go to bed horizontal. You're going to feel like a new person. I have a renewed vigor in life.
That's like my missus right now. She also has had to sleep vertical, and she is like struggled with it. She's like, I'm not in pain. It's just not comfortable.
Oh, it's not comfortable
it's like
at all.
sleep sitting up.
No, it is not at all.
Yeah.
It's honestly the most uncomfortable thing probably I've had to do besides dislocating my shoulder is sleeping upright in a sitting position.
Understandable.
But then
the most uncomfortable thing about tearing your labrum was the sleeping, not the actual tearing of the labrum.
No, I mean, I was able to move into a new apartment basically with the torn labrum.
Yeah. Something you didn't invite me to do with you. But, well, Pooch, I'm happy you're
hold
doing
on,
better.
Hold on. Time out. Using one of my 2 T's.
Time out.
I did invite you to do it, and you said you couldn't one weekend. I just want that on the record. I want the record to show
remember that commercial where like they like throw the challenge flag? We might have to throw the challenge flag. You probably did invite me, and I probably just naturally just said no.
Yeah.
Like just
That's probably what happened.
I was yeah. That's why I don't even remember it, because there was just no way in hell I was gonna do it. Respectfully. But that was 9.5 minutes of us talking about Pooch's shoulder, tearing your labrum, and let's get into the footy. So first off, as usual, we'll jump into some of the news. I guess like Fabrizio is just like announcing random shit. Bernardo Silva will be leaving Manchester City this summer. We didn't mention this on the last episode, right? I feel like this came out.
We may have, but it was also a fever dream if we did.
Yeah, last episode was a fever dream. Pooch, I'm seeing links to Arsenal.
No, he's not coming to Arsenal. Are you kidding me? Oh my God.
I don't know. I'm seeing links.
Ethan.
I'm not seeing links. It's just going to piss Pooch off.
Ethan, if he comes to Arsenal, I will retire from watching and participating in the sport of football.
Wow. Someone write that. Someone clip that. I don't think he's going to Arsenal, but someone clip that. Yeah, Bernardo Silva's like a weird case because like for years he was linked with Barca. I think we probably did speak about this, and I don't want him at Barca. He just doesn't have a role. But it's like I see things saying like, oh, Bernardo Silva wants to go to Barca, and it's just like what position are you going to play? Like I don't even know what the best move is for him. Like, is it Saudi? Is it maybe going to like Italy? Maybe he could play at Inter. They probably could use another 31-year-old.
Yeah, I was gonna say he reeks of either an Italian club like a Juve or an Inter, or Bayern Munich, where it's just like
Yeah,
they're just like, oh, Bernardo Silva on a free, sure, like we'll take him.
yeah. I
Oh,
maybe MLS.
by the way, I don't know if we'll get copyrighted if I say this. Speaking of Bayern Munich,
Sure.
but you see all the alleged allegations regarding Jamal Musiala?
No,
Apparently, his nickname in Munich is allegedly the Munich Muncher or,
there's
or,
no way it's that.
or
Pooch.
Muncher, and it's because he has so many STDs.
Say it
Allegedly,
with a straight face.
he
Say
has
report this with a straight face.
because he has so many STDs because he's just
Okay.
like ran through all of Munich allegedly. That then what he decided to do was nobody would touch him with a 10 feet pole like the women of Munich. So now
Yeah.
he's flying in women from different countries and stuff like that to have relations with. But his
Mhm.
nickname throughout Munich is the Munich Muncher allegedly. Look it up. Look it up right now. Look it
Okay.
up right now.
I legitimately did, and I couldn't find it. I didn't check on X the Everything app. I'm sure that's
Where I found
these
it
reports
from.
are.
Yeah, and Reddit.
Yeah.
That and Reddit.
So, Pooch, here's what I don't like, and people did this to my boy Lamine Yamal too. Why are we munch watching? Let my boy just like vibe. You're essentially pocket watching. I'm not going to say you're cock watching.
Not me
You are cock
personally.
watching on these guys.
I'm just reporting.
No, you are. You just reported on the pod.
But I'm reporting what I heard. So if it comes out later on and you're like, where did this come from? This is out of the blue. You're now aware of the
So
alleged allegations. It is right now untrue,
Yes.
unfounded. It's just on X the Everything app and Reddit. I don't.
Those are really reliable sources.
I don't know if it's true or not. That's why I keep saying alleged and allegations. But
You're good. Fair enough.
there's also
I'm glad that you started this at.
yeah.
Yeah, go
There's
on.
also like Elise like deadbeat dad allegations out there. So I don't know. Does Harry
Hey.
Kane have a good influence on his teammates? I don't know.
Arsenal fans seem to be coping with a lot right now. We'll get into that. Enzo, benched by Rosenor. What is he? He's facing a 2-game suspension or something for his comments, talking about like
Yeah.
he wants to join Madrid one day, and he wasn't sure if they should have. Was he the one that said they weren't, or was it Caicedo who said he wasn't sure if they should have sacked him? Oh no, it was Cucurella who said that sacking Maresca or him leaving was bad mid-year. Not a good look if you're LinkedIn Liam. You have like multiple players just talking about like open, like, yeah, I don't want to. I'll leave. I'll literally leave right now if you let me.
I also think with the Enzo stuff, Fernandez, he'd never said he was open to Madrid. I think in the interview that he did with Fabrizio, which once again, why are you interviewing
Yes.
with Fabrizio mid-season? That's just a recipe
Yep.
for disaster. I think Fabrizio asked him like, what cities would you like to live in? And he named like 4 different cities, and Madrid was one of them. And he was like, yeah, I've always kind of wanted to like live in Madrid one day. Like it seems like a cool place to live. And
Right.
like
It
it was taken as he wants to
no.
go to Real. Like
Didn't they ask him, was it him or Caicedo? Because Caicedo did like a very similar interview. And they were like, oh, like who's the best midfielder you've seen play? And he was like, oh, I one time watched Chelsea versus Real Madrid, and I was so impressed by Toni Kroos.
yeah.
And people were like, oh, he twerking for that move to Madrid. And it's like, that seems like a very reasonable answer where you actually named the team you play on was playing in the
Yeah.
game, and you were, I don't know. I mean, I don't care. Chelsea got to figure it out. Cole Palmer, homesick.
Homesick.
Is that still true?
Yeah, 100%.
He did become captain, I think, which hurts that
Nope.
argument a little bit.
It doesn't after the World Cup.
Interesting. Well, Yeah, a whole lot going on over there with Chelsea. It was just funny. I feel like in the past 3 days, it's like Cucurella did an interview, Enzo did an interview, and then Caicedo. It's like you could maybe make an argument those are like their three most important players
Mhm.
after Palmer. And it was just like all three of them were just like, and again, right, you do stuff with Fabrizio or you do stuff and like the aggregators are just going to go ahead and like, feed into the flames. But it was just funny. It was like, wow, no one wants to be here. Like, I don't know. It is what it is. Chelsea fans, I'm sure, are like, no, they actually said how much they love Chelsea and they're going to tattoo the badge over their heart. Stamford Bridge. Pooch, you wrote down here 1954 World Cup potentially goated.
Yeah, so I just finished 1954 World Cup in the book that I'm reading on the history of the World Cup. So it's the
Makes
most
sense.
recent one that I've read, and it honestly might be the best World Cup so far. I have
Okay.
a definitive list, but real quick on the 1954 World Cup. So Spain didn't even qualify. They were considered like one of the top 8 teams in the world, but they did this weird
Okay.
thing where it was like a best of 3 series to get into the World Cup. So Spain won the first leg at home 4-1, and then Turkey beat them 1-0 in Istanbul. And because they beat them 1-0, there is no like aggregate. So it's like they should have won 4-2 like on aggregate and gone through, but it was like a
But it
best
didn't
of
matter.
3. And so what ended up happening was they went to Rome to play the tie-breaking game. Spain had a striker from, I want to say, Czechoslovakia, like was born in Czechoslovakia, but basically played for Spain most of his life.
Puskas
No,
or Di
no, no,
Stefano?
no, no. Couscous, I have a story about him too because of this World Cup.
Puskas,
Puskas.
not couscous.
No, but there was a guy Couscous. Never mind. I'll explain that part.
Couscous is Moroccan
I'll
rice.
explain that part. But
Not Moroccan
So-
Declan rice. Moroccan grain of rice.
so they're in Rome, they're getting ready for the game, and a guy comes into the locker room and goes, "Hey, I'm a FIFA official. That guy's been ruled ineligible. The one from Czechoslovakia who's been playing for Spain his whole life." And everybody was just like, all right, like he's ineligible. Like, I guess he can't play. Turns out after the game, the FIFA officials said, like, he was Spain's best player at the time. And the FIFA officials were like, after the game, they were like, no, he literally could have played. We had no.
Oh,
we had,
Kubala?
yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
were-
Yeah, Barcelona, huge Barcelona player.
Yeah. They
Okay.
were like, we didn't have any issues with his nationality and stuff like that. Like he could have played. I don't know who that guy was that walked into the locker room and said that. So that guy doesn't play. The game ends like 0-0 or 1-1. They go to extra time, still drawn at extra time. Now you'd think penalty kicks. Penalty kicks weren't a thing yet. So what they did was they had the son of one of the stewards come down to the field. They wrote on 2 pieces of paper, Spain, Turkey, and said, close your eyes and pick one. And he picked Turkey, and that's how Spain wasn't in this World Cup. And it's just
That's so
it's a
awesome.
hilarious story on why Spain, one of the best teams in the world, wasn't able to play. And then the tournament itself was just wild. Like Brazil 4 years earlier was called soft by everybody. So when they ended up playing Hungary, they call it the Battle of the Burn, where it's like one of the first times that the mention of like a battle on a soccer pitch was, and it's
Okay.
because
You love those.
it's because 4 red cards, like there was
Ooh.
fights on the field to the point where photographers ran onto the field and were fighting as well. Then after the game, then after the game when Hungary wins, players and staff are fighting in the like corridors. The police and photographers are fighting each other. The lights went out, and then the Brazilian team ran into the Hungarian locker room and started beating up the Hungarian players. And like just wild scenes, like the coach had to get stitches above his face for Hungary. So, and then the final happens, and West Germany beat Hungary. And this is the first time West Germany was allowed in the tournament, like after World War II. So, when they win, they can't really celebrate, but because they're like, well, we can't, like, we're just West Germany. It's
Right.
the 50s. It's like literally like half a decade since we like tried to destroy the world. Like it's tough to sit
Fair
there and
enough.
be like, Germany, yes. But they're German fit like officials like doing like pretty bad chants in beer halls, like when the German team comes back, to the point where everybody's like, all right, that guy has to be fired. Those guys have to be fired. And then on Hungary's side of things, they went undefeated for 4 years straight. Like not even a draw, like just
Okay.
wins for 4 years because they had all of those great players. That loss was their only loss in 6 years. After that World Cup loss, they then went on an extra 2 years, 18-game unbeaten run. So they had one loss in 6 years, and it was the most influential game that they lost. But it also
Right.
led to the Hungarian Revolution, which in turn
Oh,
meant players like Puskás and like I think the two other big name players on that team, all three of them defected because
right.
they were
Okay.
like blamed basically for losing the World Cup, and they were like, we're like already after they lost that final, their houses were like burned. So it's like, okay, we're
Fair.
defecting. I think Puskás ended up playing for Spain, like the national team at some point.
Yeah.
And so it's those three, and then the entire under 21s left. Like they all defected.
Oh.
So like Hungary's like they were like the team of the 50s, even though they never won a World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
But that was the last time. That was like Hungary's golden era, and they literally like they had one loss. It was a World Cup final, and then all the team defected basically. But I'll round it out by saying, for the people that even care, here's so far my World Cup list. The top 5, or the first 5 World Cups that I've read through. Number 1 is 1954. Number 2 is 1930, the inaugural one. Number 3 is
Okay.
1950, the one in Brazil, where Brazil literally changed the colors of their jersey because they lost to Uruguay.
I did not know that.
Yeah, they originally wore a white jersey with blue outline, but because they lost,
Okay.
that's why they never wear white jerseys, Brazil, with the blue outline, is because the Brazilians lost that 50 final and blamed, like, basically were like, that jersey is bad luck, it's bad juju, like, get rid of it. And then they ended up like the guy who made the jerseys, the color scheme, what it is today, was actually Uruguayan. Like, so it's like he
Interesting.
wasn't even Brazilian. Fourth is 1934 because I'm pretty sure that one was rigged, and then fifth is
Nice.
1938 just because it was super boring. Italy won it a second time, but it was in France and nothing really happened. There was no storylines really. It was just like Italy steamrolled everybody.
Okay.
So that's the first 5. I think over the next coming days I'll read 58 and 62. So I can give a little bit of background on those two coming up with the World Cup
Here's
in line.
here's what we'll do. I think what we'll do is, now that we have come into an end of bracketology, and I'll count the weeks out. What we'll do is, leading up to the World Cup, is we will actually have you do a 1 week. Every week you'll come in with a report. We'll start in 1930. You'll give a 3-minute history lesson on it. We'll clip it. We'll put it on the socials. But on top of it, you'll get to talk about it. So you'll be like 1930, the inaugural. You'll make it really fun.
Can I
and
start at
interesting.
58 just because I don't want to reread 120 something pages? Plus, I think the math,
Thinking about it.
if I do it once a week, I think the math works out to where 58 leads up to modern times.
Up to you. How about that? This is your segment. I'm going to take a back seat for once. I'm going to let you drive the boat.
I'll do 58 next week. And if I feel
That's
if I
fine.
feel bad, or if people text me on the side clamoring for 1930s and onward, I guess I'll have to reread 120 pages. I don't really feel like it. I feel like that may be
Why do
torture
you have to reread it?
because I don't remember 1930 as well as I probably should. Also, the 1934 and 38 was a bit of a slog where you're like, all right, I'll
Okay.
get through this. All right. Like, it wasn't a lot
Maybe
going
we can
on.
start. Maybe you don't have to start with it. You could do it later, but maybe we can talk about 1930 at some point as the inaugural. But we'll
I mean,
let the other two
I have
just die.
1930 up in my head. I could literally
write it
say it
down.
right now.
No, not right now.
I'll
Not right
remember
now. We
it.
have other
Like,
things
I
to talk
can
about.
remember it, like the main storylines. That's fine. I'm
Okay.
just saying 34 and
Yeah.
38 was a bit of a slog.
We don't need those
And
years.
I'm pretty
They're not
I'm
real.
pretty sure both were rigged. So,
Yes. See, that's the part that might be interesting. But
well, there are
Um,
rumors that 54, the one that I just talked about, was rigged too. That the Germans
Owen would hate
that the
this.
Germans were basically on PEDs.
See, that's kind of awesome.
Yeah, like they were
The PDs back then were probably so sick.
well, they also had Adidas as their like thing, and it was a
Right.
super rainy day, the final. So they had screw-in cleats while the Hungarians did not. So the Hungarians were slipping everywhere, but the Germans were kind of steadfast. Also, I found out this World Cup was the creation of a new formation, basically came to light in 1954, and that was the 4-2-4, patented by the Hungarians. That's why they always won, because everybody else was doing the WM, and the Hungarians were doing a 4-2-4, which allowed them to pass the ball better and have a better attack. So
Okay.
I feel
You just died. You just let your thought died.
well, I saw your face and I was like, this feels like when somebody's like the dog sits for a treat and they're just like, good job, here's your treat. I got that feeling because
There's no treat. There's no treat.
I know, but
you're good. Keep going.
I know, but the look you gave me and you just kept going, okay, cool, awesome. I was like,
I don't have any info to add to it.
Damn, okay. I feel like I'm a dog here.
Someone may have just fallen asleep in their car and crashed it, so you're liable for that. Real quick, as they tip off here, Pucc, who should the fans bet on, UConn or Michigan?
Michigan's so good. This guy,
all right, so Pucc,
this guy right here, the number 15 for Michigan, the guy that's 7'4". I watched my first Michigan game of it was like the Final Four against Arizona. He is such a force defensively. I don't think I've ever seen a worse offensive basketball player. Like legitimately, he's so bad.
We saw Ike Obiago.
Yeah, no, this guy's worse. This guy can't shoot anything.
Right. Let's get back to the footy. This is what happens when Owen's not on. For those that don't know, Owen is battling illness. Prayers for O. We melted him so hard that now he's in shambles, but prayers for O. Owen, if you're listening to this, just text me pineapple so that way we know you're listening and that you're still alive. But yeah, when Owen's not on, me and Pucc just kind of start talking and forgot we press record.
Yeah.
So let's get into it then. Pucc, where do you want me to start here with the FA Cup? You want to start with Arsenal? Or you want to end with Arsenal?
We could start. I mean, it was one of the games I watched. I had family over, so I wasn't as tuned in as I probably should have been. But I got the main gist of basically like we didn't play as well. I think we had a lot of more individual errors than team errors, and we just couldn't figure out our offensive touch with a bunch of backups in. Gyökeres, I think, had a great goal where he opened up his body really well to score. But besides that, I don't think it was I don't think it was a good performance. We definitely could have played better, but I think it was more individual errors. I actually think this is probably better for us in the long run, just because it is tough to play
Here we go.
every single competition. Don't get me wrong. I would have loved to win the FA Cup, but it's also like,
sure,
I've seen Arsenal win the FA Cup 4 or 5 times, where it's like, I'm good here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
wow, you could just turn away titles.
Well, I'm good with the FA Cup. Like,
you're good.
The Carabao Cup, the Carabao Cup, I would have liked to win because I think we've only won it once in my lifetime that I'm aware of, and like, I haven't really. I don't remember watching that. But if we're being honest here, it is like the Prem or Champions League. Like, that's what I want. That's,
of course, that's the big ones.
Yeah.
But at one point, you were talking about quadruple. You're now down to 2 titles.
Yeah. Listen,
one of them is in the bag. Yes or no?
The Prem, I would say, it depends on how we. I would say this. I would give it a percentage.
Here comes the waffle.
I would say I'm 85% positive that we will win the Premier League title.
Okay. Champions League, how do you feel?
Champions League, I would say I'm about at a 63, 64.
Wow. After losing to Southampton.
After losing, yeah.
That you're going to win the Champions League. You 63%.
Yes.
You're going to have to play Barcelona next in the next round should they go through, and then Bayern probably in the final, or Real Madrid.
We can get to that
or
when
PSG.
We get to our preview, but I have thoughts on Barcelona against Atletico. I think we could be seeing a full-on Catalonia versus Madrid war breakout in the country after this game's being played.
All right, we'll get to. Let's save that.
Yeah.
We'll get to when we get to that. Good stuff. Yeah, got to be a tough one. My team, we didn't lose the FA Cup this weekend, so that's good. Manchester City, they thump Liverpool. Are Man City back, or Liverpool just kind of shit?
I think it's a bit of both. I think City looked really good, but also I think Liverpool looked that bad. I think Slot's done. I think that team
Yeah.
is not playing for him anymore.
He's lost the locker room a bit, right?
I think they're mentally checked out. I think of him. Um, and I just think last year it was more so Klopp's team with a new guy in
Yeah.
charge. Like everybody's fit. Like that's what it seems like now looking back on it.
Yep.
I was talking to my brother and my dad, who are both Liverpool fans, and they we discussed it, and Slot's like the perfect like B-level manager where he's managing at like maybe not like a massive club like a Barcelona, a Liverpool, a Bayern Munich, um, but like one of those B-list clubs where you're like an Ajax or like a PSV, or I would even say Atletico Madrid, I would put in B list. But like one of those
Wow.
clubs, and you're like, he is such a phenomenal manager. Like he's like an Unai Emery. Like he gets the most out of like a
Yeah.
not great
That's a good
club,
example.
but when he gets put on a big club or like a good team, you're like, wow, he's actually not that good. Like I just think that's
I
his
think
level.
they're also, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying there. I also think they're like in a weird spot because they are in a transition. I mean, Mo Salah's leaving. He's clearly not been in his best year, right? So like that's number one. Like anytime you lose if you lose a player like Mo Salah, and I know he hasn't lost him yet, but Mo is not in his best form. McAllister, I've always thought, and don't get me wrong, good player, won the World Cup with Argentina, was an important part of that team. He's always been interesting to me because I know people are always like, oh, McAllister's so class. I've always felt like he's a little overrated, and I've just never I don't know. I've never really seen the hype. I think he's a good player, but like McAllister has so many minutes on his legs in the past 2 years. The back line, like the fullbacks are interesting to me. Kirk, and I just feel like, I don't know. I wonder if there is something there where maybe it's not fully him. Maybe it's also just like a little bit of a weird squad. Isak hasn't played this year, really. Ekatike's looked okay. I don't know. It's kind of a weird squad to me. I don't know if that makes sense.
The only pushback that I would have to what you just said is they
Yep.
spent 400 mil on this summer
Right,
for him.
right.
Like he had to have some input on some of these players.
No,
Like
100%. I'm not saying that he didn't. I'm just saying it. Looking at this team, I don't want to say like they're overrated. It's just one of those things where like I don't know, like I don't know. I'm having a hard time like articulating it. It's like, for instance, like Frimpong coming in to replace like Trent. For me, like I don't know, that doesn't move me. Frimpong's a decent player, but like as a proper right back in the Prem, like that doesn't move me.
yeah.
Right? Kirky's I like that. That is what it is. Connor Bradley, I think, is a promising young player. They had this Leone kid who got hurt. Joe Gomez is still there, which is insane. And then you look at the midfield. Wirtz hasn't kicked off, but obviously Soboslai has. Like after that, like you look at their proper central midfielders. It's Endo, McAllister, Curtis Jones, Gravenberch, who is very, very good, Trey Nioni, and then I don't know how to say his name. Stefan. It's like a Croatian name, but he's Spaniard. Stefan Bajtek,
Yeah.
I think. It's so that it like a starting 11 on paper probably looks phenomenal, but you kind of look at the team and I just don't know. I'm like, like I feel like there's teams that probably have better depth. The forwards are where they should be better. You have obviously Ekatike, you have Isak,
Cody Gakpo.
Kiesa. Yeah, Gakpo has been good, but like Gakpo is another profile that confuses the shit out of me.
Yeah, he doesn't.
I don't know if it's just because he wears the number 18.
He's like a left wing, but also like a second striker.
center midfielder.
Yeah, like he is on the left wing, but then he just clogs up the middle of the pitch so much.
That's my point. It's like such a weird squad, and I don't know if it's just like I'm very used to like traditional like 4-3-3 type of vibes, but like I don't know. That's what like Gakpo's like 6'4", man. What's he doing at left mid?
Yeah, like this squad to me screams like 3-5-2 gets the best out of all of them, but then they don't have enough center back depth to do 3 in the back, where it's like you're like okay, like so maybe this summer they go out and they pick up a center back or two, but I don't know, like you mentioned, like Cody Gakpo's like the kind of like that perfect like inside forward kind of second striker to back up like an Isak and Ekatike like 2-man up top.
Like Soboslai's playing right back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what it's just such a weird squad. I agree with you. Like a 3-5-2 probably makes sense, but they don't have another center back really.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like not that I'm not blaming him, but I'd also look at this team if I was the manager and be like a little confused. I'd be like, I guess we'll run a 4-2-3-1 because they have enough talent to beat most teams.
Yeah.
Right? Like most teams on paper show up like you're going to just beat them on quality. But then, you do have to go up against a Manchester City. I don't know, you have to play other teams and like teams with much more depth that even if they're not in good form, they'll just like, I don't know, they just out kind of quality you at that point, kind of what you do to most teams they kind of do. I don't know. It's interesting. It obviously just makes sense for Xabi Alonso to take over. He has got his guy from Pong there. Wirtz is there. Like, it's clear like that's probably the next step for them. And I'm sure they'll spend another 500 million or something because if you can, you can. Why would you not? But it does feel like this team this year was like in a really weird, kind of like a pre-transition phase. And they just didn't transition. They kind of just like rolled with it and just added some signings that when you look at it, you were probably like, wow, good signings at the moment. But then you're like, wait, you don't need that.
Yeah.
They didn't need another 10.
They also did need Isak for 150 million after they spent like 70 on Ekitike, who's kicked on really well. So it's like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like,
well, now you're in a tricky spot.
Yeah.
Because I mean, again, 3-5-2 probably makes sense with them, right? With the two of them up top, but it's also like, say, I don't know, Xabi Alonso will play 3-5-2, but say you kept Arnie Slot and you want to keep playing 4, one of them is going to sit, or one of them has to get kicked out to the wing. Which again, it's fine, but like I don't really like the idea of spending 150 mil on a player and then being like, "Hey, go play out of position."
Yeah, no, exactly.
That I don't know. That's how I'd see it. But Manchester City thumps them. I think Man City probably smell that the FA Cup may be one of their only titles this year.
Yeah.
So this has now become they're out of Champions League. They're going to try their best to make a run at Prem.
How did you feel about Cherky putting on Ekitike's shirt in the middle of the game?
Dude, I saw the best tweet I saw about him was he is a generational like content per 90.
Yeah.
It's just funny. Like, how do you get Ekitike's shirt? That's my bigger question.
They're both French, so they probably played under 21s together and swapped jerseys or something.
No. But it was in the middle of the game. How did he get his shirt?
You don't like.
He was sitting.
But like, you know how players like after they get out, maybe they got to use the restroom or something, and go back to the locker room. Maybe both of them went back there.
It's just so funny.
Yeah, all I know is I could see. I think his character is starting to come to life now, and you can maybe start to see why a lot of teams didn't go for him for the past couple of years, because the thing with him has always been not his ability, but his character concerns.
Of course.
And so I'm wondering now if like, all right, this is what people haven't seen, like behind closed doors, why people never went for him. And this is why like he's just like, I'm going to be myself, which I think it's great that he's a shithouser. Like, I think we need more shithousers in the game. I'm not saying anything against it. But what I'm saying is like I could see why maybe like some teams didn't want that like media or attention on them, where like a guy like Pep can deal with that. Pep will just put him in his place and be like,
Pep doesn't care.
He'll be like, Messi didn't do that. Like, like if it got too far. Like, I don't think it's gotten close to that point yet. But if it ever comes to that,
I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah.
It was funny. If it was the opposite, like he was losing 3-0 and did that, I think that's a bigger issue. But like, they don't give a shit. Chelsea smashed Port Vale. Do we have to say anything about this? No. Okay. And then West Ham fall to Leeds in penalties. I didn't watch. It was on Easter. I can't believe they played this game on Easter.
I watched the entire game because there was no other sports on yesterday. Crazy game. Leeds was up 2-0, and then in extra time, West Ham scored additional time, 90 plus. West Ham scored both of their goals, and so it was like, oh my god! And then within 3 minutes of extra time, West Ham Tati Castellanos pops one away. Leeds goalkeeper doing an outrageous move where he comes out, he's still in his box, he's coming out, the ball's bouncing to collect it. He heads it away instead of just grabbing it. And he heads it up.
Makes sense.
Castellanos gets it, bags it, but Castellanos is offsides.
Yep.
So it doesn't count. And then maybe 2 minutes later, Leeds go down and they have point blank shot. Goalkeeper saves it, falls to somebody else. A defender saves. Souček saves it off the line. And you're just like, it was a back and forth game, and then pens happened. And the only thing, I mean, Leeds kind of put West Ham away on pens, But the funniest part was, I guess, Areola got hurt in extra time. So they bring in like a 19-year-old, like third string goalkeeper, because I guess Fabanski and Mats Herman are both hurt. So they bring in like this young goalkeeper,
Yeah.
looks super nervous, and then he saves the first penalty. And his confidence was way too high after that.
Through the
He
roof.
was talking so much shit to every single guy that came up. He would miss the ball. Like the ball would be like over his head as he's diving. And every single time he'd go, that close. And it's like they show the instant replay and the ball's a good 3 feet above his arm. And like, he's like so close. Like, it's like, dude, all you did was
That's
guess
awesome.
the right way. Like you weren't close. Like, so
I like that. All right, fair. Yeah, I mean, the fact this game was on Easter was insane. Our buddy Russo, who barely watches does not watch footy, by the way, texted us about it. I was like, what is he watching? And I looked and I saw that they were playing it. Whatever.
he'll be excited he got a shout out on the pod too.
Does he listen?
I think so. I think he said he would listen.
Okay, fair enough. Let's move into La Liga. Mallorca beat Real Madrid with a last-minute goal. Madrid are so ass, bro.
Dimichelis, masterclass.
Is he the manager of Mallorca?
Yeah.
I did not know that. All right. Well done, Pooch. Yeah, Mariki, or however you say it, he's from Kosovo. So they just got eliminated from World Cup qualifying. And then a week later, he scores the game winner against Madrid. He was like in tears. That's how much this meant to us. And to him, not to us. But
no, it's to us.
It's to us. I got emotional talking about it. But
hey,
I keep seeing people.
Do you want to take a minute breather? Just because I can see it in your face that you're, yeah.
The way he wins that ball. My favorite thing is people are like, oh, like what a life it must be to live on like an island in Spain and just like playing top flight. It's like, yeah, but it's like, do you guys just realize, like living in like Mallorca or like when Las Palmas are in La Liga,
Deportivo Alves,
is that
like.
Are you sure about that?
No, I have zero clue. It just sounds like an island name for a club.
Not an island, but fair enough. But I keep seeing people talk about it, and someone was like, like Mallorca is the equivalent of Bournemouth, right? It's because of like where they are in the table and like the color scheme and all that. And they're like, shit. They're like, the only difference is you live in like on a Spanish like Balearic island versus living in Bournemouth. And they're like, damn, whatever. So it's just funny. I'm like, yeah, like living in Spain's pretty good. That's why a lot of these older dons want to go there. But yeah, good for him. Shout out to him helping Barca out, who Barca are able to pull off a 2-1 win over Atleti Madrid. Kind of a crazy game. We are going to play them, I think it's 2 times in a row. We play them again in Champions League this week. We then, I think, play someone different at the weekend, and then we play them again in Champions League. So we're going to get to know each other very well. We obviously played in Copa del Rey, the whole thing. Simeone rested a lot of players for this game, which was fine. We struggled a bit. There were some questionable calls, some fights during the game. So I'm very excited for, I believe it's Wednesdays when we play them.
Simeone definitely started the mind games early for the Champions League match with this, whether it was trying to kick Fernan Torres or just sending on that one player to basically just like kill, was it Gavi? Maybe it was Pedri. Like he was just running around the pitch, just like kicking one of the two of them.
He was probably kicking Pedri. Yeah, just Gavi came on late.
Yeah, it was Pedri where he was just running around the pitch, just like putting in tackles. The ball's 30 yards away, and you're just like,
dude.
But the one thing I wanted to bring up, do you think that was a red where it got called off
on Martin?
Yeah.
Here was my argument against it, because I initially said no. He wins the ball, and it's not like there's barely any follow through. Yes, I don't know who the player was directly behind it, and he stepped on him, but there was no like excessive follow through. It wasn't like he could have stopped his foot. He won the ball, and then the guy's leg was there. And I guess my view is like, I don't know. I thought the right call was probably a yellow for it because they got the free kick or whatever. But it's also like, well, if I go put in a tackle, like I don't know. Yeah, I guess you don't want to go in with your studs up, but he didn't even do that. He kind of cleared the ball, and the guy's leg was under him, and he stepped on him. And it's like, I don't know. I could see it either way. I don't care.
My thinking was this when I was watching it. I don't think that should be a red card at all, but it always is called a red card. Like,
understand.
It's one of those where
I
it's
totally
like,
get that.
I don't think that play ever should be considered a red, but
Yes.
Like, even as a Tottenham fan, you can agree. You guys, like, Romero gets that called on him every single
Yeah,
time.
all the
So
time.
it's like,
And I guess that's maybe where I come from. Why I agree with you where
yeah,
it does get called all the time. And it was refreshing to see it not get called. And I
yeah,
think you like going to NFL football, like sometimes you see like a cornerback being rough with a wide receiver and they don't throw a PI. And it's like sometimes so nice to not see them throw
yeah,
a pass interference.
yeah,
Because you're like that shouldn't be a pass. Like, yes, by the textbook, it is a pass interference, but it shouldn't be. Like, just because you call it every time doesn't mean it should
yeah.
be. I fully agree with that. If they gave him a red, I would have understood it, but I
Mhm.
would have argued. I would have been sitting here saying like, I don't think that's a red.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I
I'm obviously
Yeah,
biased.
I also think this weekend, I mean, I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago. If you're not paying attention to these La Liga races, what are you doing, man? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Sevilla is the Tottenham of La Liga. They're on the
Yep.
verge of getting relegated, just like Tottenham. Um, you also have Celta Vigo 1 point behind Betis for the 5th spot in Champions League if they get
Yep.
it with the coefficient. And honestly, I think Celta Vigo is going to get that 5th spot. I think they're playing so
I hope
well.
so.
Yeah, the races are just really, really good right now. In
On
La
top of
Liga.
it, you have Villarreal who's in third. There's a race for third between Villarreal and Atleti Madrid. This weekend may have ended the La Liga race. I mean, unless Barca really falls out, it's only 7 points. But the way they're playing, 7 points and getting healthier towards the back end of the season, and Real Madrid just don't look decisive. Yeah, La Liga's fun this year. I mean, Bilbao's having a horrible year. They're in 11th.
Girona too.
But yeah, the big ones.
Girona's not having a good year.
Yeah, and there's talks that their manager may be leaving. He may actually be going to Ajax, which would be a really
Michel?
interesting move.
Michel?
Yeah, I think it's just Michelle, but yes. Yeah, La Liga's heating up, but it was obviously a big weekend this weekend with Barca versus Atleti, and then we will see them again twice in the next week. So it's fun. Simeone is always fun to play against. Barca have overall usually taken care of Atleti pretty well, but they're one of the teams that like really fight against us, so it's always good. Let's move over to Serie A, Booch. Inter Milan defeat Roma 5-2. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, at the beginning of the year, our defense was so good, and it was the offense that we needed help with. And now Danielle Mullen has actually come in and scoring and everything. And
Yeah.
it's like our defense has decided, like, all right, well, at least we're scoring. We can give up a little bit now. It's just so frustrating that, like, it's like one of those things where it's like you can never get the full team firing on all cylinders right now.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things where, a lot of these players like were kind of gave it one more year to be with Roma to see if we can get Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, since we're probably not going to, a lot of them are going to leave and we're going to have to restart from scratch. With that being said, maybe that means that we can be the team that helps Italy win the World Cup again or the Euros and just go full Italian starting 11 from here on out. I think that would be a great move for them. If I was in charge of Roma, that's what I would do. I would just get every single good young Italian player on my team and we go from there. But yeah, it's a bit disheartening to see us kind of falling right now, but you got to stick with your teams in the good times and the bad.
That's it. Udinese draw Como 0-0. I'm announcing that we are officially out of the title race.
Okay. I'm glad.
With this one.
I'm glad you've come to your senses on that one.
I'm not saying it's mathematically impossible. I'm just simply saying that I don't think we're going to win the title. If we won this game, I think it was still on. But unfortunately, at this point, I don't. Napoli take down AC Milan today, 1-0. I did not watch.
I didn't either, but Napoli now move into second. So it's like one of those.
Damn, we really should have beat Udinese.
I don't think Napoli can catch Inter. Maybe they can. I mean, it happened last year where they were able to catch them. They're 7 points behind with 7 games left. So they need Inter to kind of falter a bit, but Inter have the second best defense, by far the best attack in the league. So I think it might be wraps on the league, but I think the league in general has some good races left, at least on the top end. I just think probably all of these teams are probably a bit like the players are, especially the Italian players are a bit like, ugh, like.
Yeah, well, they're missing out on the World Cup, and now it's just season ends.
Yeah.
So There's like nothing to look
Yeah.
forward to. There's no selection.
No.
Like you're just kind of like, all right, let's get to vacation. It's so frustrating. We tied. If we won, we'd be on 60 points. We'd be 12 points off the title. We'd be 5 points off second. Well, I guess we'll get ready for next year. Me and my Como fans. Ligue 1, Monaco beat Marseille 2-1. Only had this year because Balogun scored. So shout out Balogun.
Shout
he
out
got
Flo.
technically the game-winning goal.
Shout out Flo.
Our guy. He's in terrific form right now, being fair. And then, some others. So NYCFC draw St. Louis City this weekend 1-1. For those that don't know, I actually invited Pucc to come to the game with me. As someone who has formerly worked for the club, I have connections who decided that they were kind enough to hand me some free tickets. I ended up going with the missus instead. Not only were our tickets free, we actually sat on the field, Pucc, next to St. Louis's bench.
I know, I saw that.
Thoughts?
I mean, I missed out on a spectacular night. I wish it was literally any other night. Because I had family over. So I had to be at home.
Let's read the text that I sent to Pucc.
Say what's up to the fam.
Let's read the text I sent to Pucc. If I got us free ticks and drove us, would you come back up for it? 7:30 p.m. kickoff. I sent that at 1:30. I unfortunately cannot. Is what he responded. He did say his family over. Fair enough. Family comes first. But yeah, awesome experience. Getting to sit pitch side there. For those that don't know, it's literally courtside.
Real quick, I know it ended up in a draw, and we kind of stole it at the death. But how shit were St. Louis?
Honestly, not as shit as I expected, because I expected them to be really shit. At some points in the first half, they actually had decent possession, but yeah, not great. And the Tina Turner kit was right in front of me.
Look good in person or no?
It doesn't look as like you don't notice it as much in person.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's just because the angle, like a lot of times the players have their backs to us and the wrinkles aren't on the back. But you guys had a decent away fan contingent there. I think there was like 11.
Yeah.
Maybe 12.
Yeah.
You would have been 13.
We travel well. We travel well.
Everywhere they go, except for you, who literally lives like an hour away and had free tickets to the game to sit on the field.
I'll go to the Red Bull game. Do they play the Red Bulls?
I don't know. I don't know if I have access to that. I might. Pucc, I'm kind of a connect. But shout out if any of my friends over at NYCFC are listening. Shout out them. Awesome experience. Reach out to them and to the sickening team to buy your season tickets.
September they play at Red Bull Arena.
There you go. Well, I will be in Miami then.
Let's think about it this way. Let's think about it this way. You may have been able to get free tickets, but Red Bull Arena, the tickets will cost $10 to sit where you sat because they're shit.
So what was better, free or $10?
They're shit. Okay, I was trying to be in solidarity with the East Coast teams and be anti-Red Bulls there.
You're a clown. All right, that's it. Do you have any other soccer recap or news here, Pucc, before we move into our final bracketology?
Did I already mention the Musiala thing?
Yeah. Don't worry. Yeah. We got on the Musiala thing. Alrighty, welcome to our final bracketology. Big shout out to Owen for putting this together for us while he's under the weather, and he definitely has a little bit of flu brain. We are doing underrated ballers. I'm going to run through the seeding, and you can make your own decisions at home whether these guys are underrated or not. I guess that's what me and Pucc are here to determine. Number 1, Fede Valverde versus the number 8 seed Antonio Nusa. Number 3 is Olise versus the 6th seed Archie Gray. Number 4 is Iliman Ndiaye versus the number 5 seed Chris Richards. Number 2 is Yan Diomande versus number 7 Pau Cubarsí. He's very underrated, I guess. Number 1 is Nico Paz versus Franco Mastanuano from Real Madrid. Number 3 seed is Victor Osimhen versus Leonard Carl. That's quite the matchup of underrated players. Number 4 is Urian Timber versus the number 5 Mikhail Damsgaard. Number 2 is Estevao versus the number 7 Harry Maguire. Pucc, do we just want to make this? You know what? Let's kind of do a mystery 11. Let's try and figure out what this bracket was supposed to be, because I don't know if underrated ballers makes the most sense.
Perfectly rated ballers.
Players who are rated, but I don't. Yeah. Okay.
Players who are rated, but maybe don't get the recognition that they deserve. But that also doesn't make sense.
That means that's actually called underrated.
Yeah.
Good players who maybe deserve more credit. No, that's also under. Okay, maybe he's right.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe these are on who you and I would say underrated, but all right. These are, I guess, underrated. Let's fly through this. Fede Valverde versus Antonio Nusa.
Antonio Nusa.
Fair enough. I guess that is proper.
He's underrated. He's more underrated than
Well, you technically just
Valverde.
underrated. You just underrated Valverde.
That's true, but people are putting Valverde in Ballon d'Or conversations because he got a hat trick against Man City.
Okay, Antonio Nusa. Michael Elise versus Archie Gray. I'll take Archie Gray. Yeah, fair enough. Iliman NDI versus Chris Richards.
NDI.
Yeah,
he's such a good baller.
Yeah. Yan Diomande, who's going potentially for $100 million, versus Pau Kubarsi. Maybe
okay, so this one's
I'd go Kubarsi.
Yeah, I was gonna say this one's a bit. This one is pretty difficult because, like, based on underrated ballers, like, does Owen mean like guys not underrated players, but guys who are underrated like ballers? Like you're like, oh, he has kind of like the streets type of thing. If I look at it that way,
I think he has flu
then
brain.
then I think it might be Kubarsi, but also I don't know. Let's just go Kubarsi.
I'm gonna go. Here's why I'm gonna go Kubarsi because I don't think people
he's Barcelona.
Okay, but also 17 years old and has started for Barcelona the past 3 years. Maybe he's 18
Would you consider him a top 5 center back in the world right now?
Like complete.
Do you think the footballing society as a whole would consider him a top 5 center back?
I don't think footballing society would consider him top 5.
Okay, then yeah, go Pau Kubarsi.
Would you consider him top 5?
The amount of times you say that he's a top 5 center back.
I never say top 5. I say he's a very good center back, but I would say he's top 10. I'd take him in the top 10.
Okay. Would you consider Yan Diomande a top 10 winger in the world?
No.
Or striker or whatever he is?
He's a winger, but no. He's a promising winger. Top 10. No.
We're talking too much about this. We're just going to go Kubarsi.
All right. Nico Paz versus Mastan Tuano. Here's the thing. So Nico Paz is, I think, properly rated. People love him. The thing is Mastan Tuano or whatever, I would say he's rated. Like I'd say he's underrated, but he doesn't play. So what am I underrating?
Yeah, Nico Paz.
Yeah, Nico Paz. Victor Osimhen versus Leonard yeah, this is the worst matchup. This is the worst. Osimhen is very properly rated.
Yeah,
Leonard
I don't know why
is just
on this list. I don't know why.
I don't know.
I honestly don't know why Osimhen's on this list.
You know what? Owen underrated him. So I think
Owen underrated him. Okay.
Osimhen through.
Osimhen.
Neither one of them is going to beat Nico Paz, which is this is a list. Urian Timber versus Mikkel Damsgaard. I'll go Damsgaard because people are calling Timber a top right back in the world.
Also, and I loved Urian Timber. It's tough for me to be like, yeah, a fullback's underrated. Like, it should be on this list. Like, it's Damsgaard.
Yeah. All right. Estevao versus Harry Maguire. I'll take Maguire.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like Estevao is rated highly. Like,
very rated highly.
He's about to make the Brazilian national team at like 18 years old.
I guess Owen thinks he's
Maguire.
a GOAT. Owen thinks he's top 5 in the world, maybe. All right, let's go back over here. So we have Antonio Nusa versus Archie Gray. I don't even know.
I'm going to go Nusa.
We could go Nusa. I'm only going Nusa here because he was about to get a big move to a couple of teams and he had his back issue, and that's why he went to Leipzig.
Yeah.
So we'll take Nusa. NDI versus Kubarsi.
NDI.
Fine, you can have NDI. Fuck you.
Well, he's more underrated than Kubarsi.
I think Kubarsi's still underrated.
Nico Paz. I think your Barcelona brain wanting a Barcelona player to win this is wild.
I might as well just put Lamine in this, to be fair. Because I could just put Lamine. Should I put Messi in this? He's pretty underrated right now. Nico Paz versus Victor Osimhen. Give me Osimhen. Let's have Osimhen win this. Osimhen beats Paz.
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay. Osimhen has made a run to the semifinal. Incredible. Mikkel Damsgaard or Harry Maguire? I'm going to probably go Harry Maguire because of how hated he became. And I feel like real ball numbers will be like, oh, Damsgaard, very good. Don't you remember him at the Euros?
Damsgaard's quietly, though, having one of the best seasons a center attacking mid can have.
No, he's terrific.
Like
he was amazing last year.
He is like, he's doing bits. I kind of want to pick Damsgaard.
Fine, pick Damsgaard. I don't care. Whatever, man. All right, moving back over to the other side. So we have Antonio Nusa versus Iliman Ndiaye. Probably Nusa.
NDI.
Fine, NDI. NDI is in the final. This list is horrible because like NDI,
Oh,
FC, like Osimhen versus let's take a look at that final four and try and find another name for this. So you have Osimhen versus Damsgaard, and you have, what was it? NDI versus Nusa. Is that our
Yeah.
semifinals?
Failed
that are-
Wonder Kids.
Names that are not spelled how you think.
That's true too.
I don't know what else. Talented players, like just like people good at soccer.
Players that don't get the respect that they deserve.
So what does that mean? What? How do we condense that name, Pooch?
I know. I was
Underrated.
just messing with you.
No,
I was just messing with you. No, I
don't
was.
I don't think
The first time I did that, I wasn't joking. This time I was.
I don't think Murphy or Gennaro really understood when we said we're not words guys, when they were the ones correcting some of our words when we interviewed them.
Yeah.
I don't think they were like, wow, we did like virtual school. You guys went to college.
Yeah.
Like,
names. The final four here could be names that we don't really know how to say, but we put an accent over a certain
Yes.
letter or two, and we think it sounds correct.
It's like so accurate. All right, I guess, is this our final? Is it NDI versus Osimhen? We'll go versus Osimhen.
I mean, we brought Osimhen to the dance. We might as well take him home. Like, we might
Osimhen,
as well.
congratulations. You are the most underrated baller. I don't know how you ended up on the list. Got a feel for Leonard Carl in the first round. Just a tough matchup for him to get out. I don't know how he got into this bracket. That was our final bracketology.
Real quick though, can we do one more, but have Owen come up with his list and like have him do it, and then when we talk about it, we're talking about the players' wags. So he creates like a list like this that Owen does, and we're sitting there and we're like, huh, I think I got to take Valverde here over Nusa. But we're talking about the wags instead
That's
of
a
what
good
Owen
idea.
put down as what it is. Because
I'm
I don't
gonna
think Owen's gotten this far in the podcast. If
I
I'm
was
being
just about to
honest.
say, most people are probably like, oh, they forgot to cut this. He hasn't made it this far.
He didn't make it this far.
He didn't make it past the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
If he opened we
he
may
got-
not
he
even get a
got
stream
you
from him.
saying, He got you saying pineapple and was
Yep.
like, all right, I checked everything. I think we have him do one more Thursday
Yeah.
or Friday, sorry. And that's how we play it, is like
Okay.
we tell him beforehand, hey, can you give us the bracket? Like, we want to just get our like info correct. And then the entire time we just pick on wags.
We'll pick on something. We'll figure something out. Is more so what I meant to say. But that was our, I guess, penultimate, big word alert, bracketology. Let's move on to the weekend preview. Alrighty, we are ready to get into our Champions League preview. We are highlighting here the quarterfinals.
Champion!
That's very good. Well done, Pooch.
Thank
If you were listening to this the AM on Tuesday, April 7th, today's games will be Real Madrid versus Bayern Munich and Sporting versus Arsenal. Let's start there. Let's start Real Madrid versus Bayern, and then we'll get into your team, Pooch. Don't worry. How about just a basic prediction? I think Bayern run all over them.
For this game or for the two legs?
Let's go for the two legs. Let's give our draw prediction, and then we could talk individually about each game.
I don't think Bayern will run all over them. I actually think it'll be a really close contest, only because Real Madrid have the magic of the Champions League for some reason on
Yeah.
their side. And they probably should have lost to Man City if we're being truthful, but they destroyed Man
Yeah.
City. So I could see them having that same kind of magic and beating Bayern Munich in this. So I think I'm going to go Madrid for the two legs.
Wow. You're taking Madrid to win the fixture.
Yes. I've been thinking a lot about this fixture, and I think it's Madrid.
Okay. Well, I'm naturally going to go against you here just because I'll never pick Madrid. I think that this is the game that they finally get found out. And I say that just because I think Man City was in a tricky spot, just where they were in like kind of their season. I think Madrid capitalized. That was kind of the best time for them to play a team like Man City, was where they were like, Madrid was in a little bit of a purple patch. You're right. I don't know if this is going to be 5-0. I don't. That'd be hard to believe. But I just think that Bayern Munich is a machine. And I just, even if like Madrid wins the first leg like 1-0 or something crazy, they are playing in Madrid the first game. I think if they go back to Munich, I like, this would be the one that if I was like, I'd be like, oh, they could win the whole thing. This is the fixture for me. If they, I just cannot see them getting through this. Obviously Courtois out, he seems to always save them in the Champions League somehow. And their vibes are just so bad. Like Rudiger's ass, man. Rudiger is not a good player.
But we said this before City, and I know you mentioned City wasn't in a great form at the time, but it's kind of like history repeating itself with that, where it's like Madrid play at home first. They have a star player out. Last time it was Mbappe. This time it's Courtois. And everybody, it feels like, is like, oh, this other team used to be City, now it's Munich, is so good. They're going to run all over this Madrid team. The vibes are bad, all of this.
Yeah.
And I think that just like we need to be saying Madrid are favorites. Madrid have everything to lose here. That way we pile even more pressure on them.
You're right. I like that. Yeah, I think Madrid are the favorites then.
Yeah.
They can't lose this game. They're Madrid.
They can't. There's
especially
no
at the
way
Bernabeu. Yeah, no, my honest sake.
It's a long 90 minutes at the Bernabeu.
90 minutes is 90 minutes there, bro. It's like 85. For Barca, it's a training session, but get me fucking fired up. Yeah, I think when it comes to Madrid, I do think they're going to play well at home. I just, in Munich, I just can't see them pulling off a result. So if Madrid are going to win this fixture, they have to win like 3-0 in Madrid. And then they have to go to Munich and like, it's going to be like a fist fight. They have to start turning.
Agree 100%.
Yeah, if they lose 2-0 in Madrid, they're not going to go and do a remontada in Munich. They're not. If they are, I don't know. I'm not going to say I'm going to do anything because they're going to probably make me like shave my eyebrow off.
And I don't want to disrespect Man City fans. I do want to disrespect Man City fans. But Bayern Munich is such a tougher place to play than
100%.
Than the Etihad. 100%. So it's like, yeah, you guys got lucky with the Bernardo Silva red at City, like all that. Right. You won't get that same kind of away day treatment at Bayern Munich. Like, especially if you're up 3-0. Like Bayern Munich the fans will be coming out blazing. So.
I agree with that. All right. Well, we'll see. This obviously for tomorrow, or I guess today, if you're listening to this right now, this will be the game to watch. It might be the game to watch of the round, but should be a good one. Let's move over here, Pooch, to your team, Arsenal, taking on Sporting. I believe Sporting will begin at home. First game is at home in Portugal. I'll give my take and mine's going to be quick. I really don't think Sporting are that good. I obviously took Sporting to lose to Bodo. I think Bodo look like garbage, and that's why they're here. I think Sporting has some decent players, but I'm not taking the upset here. I feel very confident. I'd like Sporting to win, respectfully. Would make Barca's path easier, but yeah, I don't really see an upset brewing here. What do you think, Pooch? Are you nervous?
Nervous about the first leg. Second leg, not as much. I think we could see a draw the first leg or an Arsenal loss, and then Arsenal win it all in the second leg, only because Saka and Timber are both out for the game today. So that most likely means we have Madueke, who I'm not sure is 100%, so it might honestly be Max Dowman starting at the wing position, or they might do a Trossard Martinelli wing type of thing. I don't know what they do at the right wing, but it's not going to be Saka, and then right back Ben White. But everybody else is fit and ready to go. So I don't expect. We always perform terribly in Portugal as long as I can remember, whether it's Europa League or Champions League. We're always never doing well in Portugal. So I don't think it will be I think it'll be very similar to the Leverkusen first leg where we don't look good, but we somehow manage to have a draw,
Yeah,
have the draw go back to the
just
Emirates
get
tied
enough of
up.
a result.
Yeah. Yeah, you get enough of a result to be like, all right, now we're going home and we're still in it.
Yeah,
So I think that's how this will play out. I still think we're obviously I 100% think not 100%, but I think we'll go through. But I do think the first round won't be like a walk or a pushover.
right.
That a lot of people probably out there think will happen.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I probably underrated Sporting a bit there. I totally think that's fair though. Um, my prediction, yeah, I think Arsenal go through here. I'm assuming that's yours, Pooch.
Yeah,
So write
yeah,
this down.
yeah.
I'm just writing this down.
Sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good. You said it. You said it in yours. Let's move on to the next fixture. We have Barcelona versus Atletico Madrid. The first leg is in Barcelona. Again, we've mentioned this like 17 times. They will be playing each other essentially 3 times in a row. 2 teams that know each other well. We just saw them at the weekend where Barca beat Atleti 2-1 in the Copa del Rey. Don't forget the second leg of that Copa del Rey, Barca, I think they won 4-0.
Hmm.
When so we definitely know how to score against them. Atleti was resting some players to be fit for the Champions League match, so I think we're going to see a different squad than we saw at the weekend. Some players were injured, and I'm not sure if they will be back, but I assume they will. Yeah, as a Barca fan, I don't want to play Atleti. This feels like a huge letdown spot. It feels like a good way for a team like Atleti, who they're out of the they were out of the La Liga race. So I think Simeone was like, "Yeah, you could have this one. I'll be ready for you on Wednesday."
Yeah.
Um, Similar to how we just talked about Arsenal and even like Real Madrid. I'm not saying we can't go and win in Atleti Stadium, the Wanda Metropolitano, because we just did it. I would much rather us go in there up 3-0 and just see
Mm.
it out and make it a boring game. We just need to be on it. We really need to be on it. This is an Atleti team that love to jump all over us. And on top of it, they play very anti-Barca football where they want to counterattack on us. They have the ability. What's his name? Simeone's son has been terrific on that wing for them. Griezmann looked very dangerous. They'll now be playing Julian Alvarez this weekend. I don't want to see Lookman. Lookman's a dog. But supposedly Barca should be getting healthy. So I think Jules Koundé will be back. I think Balde will be back. No Frankie de Jong, and now Bernal is out. So that hurts us big time. Our only 2 fit central midfielders are actually Pedri and Gavi. So that'll be fun to see. I think you may see Eric Garcia, honestly, starting in the 6 next to Pedri. But I would love to see Pedri and Gavi together. Gavi is looks sharp on his time back. Yeah, no Rafinha.
Maybe you guys should do the Hungarian 4-2-4.
Maybe that's the key. That'd be cheeky. I think Barca win the first 3-1. I think we go to Atleti and then we maybe win 1-0 or we draw 1-1 there and we just see our way through to the next round. Pooch, what are your thoughts here on a as a fellow Cuyid?
I do think Barcelona go through.
Okay.
But I think it will literally my dream is that people talk about this draw like they talk about the remontada. That's how my vision for this draw goes in terms of it goes down in the histories as one of the premier Champions League draws. These 2 teams get into a rock fight. There's red cards thrown about.
Yeah,
There's
it's gonna
benches
happen.
clearing. Simeone kind of lit the fire this past weekend,
Yep.
which because throughout history, my knowledge of Atleti with Simeone and Barcelona, it's always kind of been cordial. They're always hey, let's tie our bandanas together. We both hate Real type
Yep.
of deal. But this past weekend to me felt like maybe a changing of that where Simeone is no, now we're gonna be enemies now.
Yep.
So I think it might get into that territory where there might be some tomfoolery going on. With that said, I could see the first leg in Barca being a draw. And then when they go to the Metropolitano, um, Barcelona winning 1-0 or
Yeah.
2-1 or going to pens, something. It just feels like this has the makings of a classic Champions League draw. Um,
Yep.
and maybe that also is just me as an Arsenal fan wanting a lessened team from either one of these, where I'm like, because I have a feeling Barcelona and Atletico Madrid might just take Arsenal to the to the
To the wire.
grinder. Yeah. And just run us rampant like PSG did last year. But yeah, I think Barcelona it's a long-winded way of saying I think Barcelona go through.
I agree. It's definitely going to be a rock fight. I mean, I don't know if you saw a fight started this weekend. Simeone kind of went. There was a couple of times Atletico players, Barca felt like they went down very easy. They probably were technically fouls, but it was like, for instance, at one point, Eric Garcia went to make a tackle. A player passed the ball away, and Eric Garcia, like, he didn't even like finish the tackle. He just like bumped him on his shoulder, and the player fell. Right, and like there was like little things like there where the guys just kept like falling or like trying to get like fouls out of it. And at some point, Danny Olmo, who did nothing wrong actually, it wasn't even a foul, went and got the ball or like put a tackle in. And then Simeone like threw himself on the ground, and Daniel Olmo turned around and got in, like standing over him, essentially told him like get up, bitch. And it started a huge fight on the field, not like punches, but both teams were fully like every single player was in the middle of it, and it just feels like it's brewing. Like it just feels
Yeah.
like there's going to be something this weekend. Simeone knows that his team is probably inferior, like quality wise, but he knows that where they won't be is like if he gets them up for the fight, like that anything
And
can
this
happen.
and remind me, this is gonna be the 5th time that they play each other this year, correct?
They played each other twice in La Liga. They played each other twice in Copa del Rey. Then this will be number 5 so far.
Yeah. So
So they know each other.
they're gonna play each other for a max of 6 games this year.
Yeah,
So like it is one of those where it's like you're just like I starting to hate you. Like I keep seeing your
exactly.
face. Like it's like when you you're walking somewhere, you're walking to work every single day, and then one day you drop a piece of paper and some guy steps all over it, and you're like, really, dude? But you see him every single day, and you're just like every single day you're like, I hate you, man. I hate you, man. And then it brews to more like that guy
Did
could have
this
been
like
on his
happen to
phone.
you? This
No,
like
it's
the steps
no,
on the
it's
paper so random.
I know it's the closest analogy I could think of.
Fair enough. I was actually thinking the same thing when they drew each other again for the 6th time, but yeah, fair enough. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. And no Rafinha is going to hurt Barca, but I think it'll still be a good time. Lamine was ridiculous this weekend. They also made Nico Gonzalez, the Fiorentina winger, play left back. And at some point, this dude literally jumped in the air because the ball was kicked over his head, and Lamine was going to be just like on a breakaway. He jumped in the air and caught it with 2 hands, like what you would do
I
in
saw
pickup.
that. I saw that. Yeah, I saw
He
that.
caught it and threw it on the ground. He was like, "Yeah, what do you want?" And then at some point, he got megged, and Lamine hit a trivela, and he just kept looking at Simeone. He was like, "What do you want me to do?" And so it seems like they'll probably
Yeah.
play a proper left back this weekend. But this poor guy, they just were like, it was like it was literally like in FIFA when you're playing the video game career mode when all of your left backs are like out of stamina and you're like, fuck, I gotta put somebody. So you just experiment, and it's just the worst matchup. It literally looked like that. And then he got sent off, by the way. Let's move into our final matchup here though. We have PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, versus Liverpool. I think you and I are going to be very well aligned here. I think PSG are going to steamroll them. We're not aligned on that?
We are not aligned on that.
Wow. Pucc is taking pool.
I believe the number is 7 out of the last 9 champions that are holding the trophy like the previous year lose in the quarterfinals. So
Interesting.
I'm gonna go on that statistic and be like, Liverpool, this is where they win. It just feels like a PSG team that has kind of cheated their way because they keep having the games on the weekend get postponed.
Yeah.
And I hate that. So I think Liverpool may pull it through.
Okay.
I think it'll be the Anfield matchup. Remember, this is the team that knocked Liverpool out last year. Maybe some revenge.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the same guys on that Liverpool team. I mean, a lot of the same guys on the PSG team as well. But it just feels like a thing where Liverpool can get their lick back, and I think they will. I think, like you mentioned with Atletico, where it's like Atletico know that, hey, we're out of everything. Like this is kind of our
Yeah.
last straw.
That's fair.
it's the same thing with Liverpool where they're like, this is all we have trophy wise to play for. We're going to go balls to the wall and try and win. And I don't think that PSG is as unstoppable. I mean, we've mentioned it a bunch. So I
Yeah.
think the Liverpool players could see this as like we have the opportunity to get to the semifinals. Like, it's not like you're taking on a Barcelona where you're like, we might be screwed here.
That
Or a Bayern Munich where you're like, we might be screwed. Like you're sitting there and you're like,
yeah, they're susceptible.
we we have an opportunity. So this one will be interesting. I think in my head, I honestly think Liverpool wins both legs. I
Wow.
think out of the 4 games, this is the one where I am the most adamant that it will not be a blowout, but like score wise, but like you'll sit there at the end when the semifinals are announced and you'll be like, I can't believe Liverpool kind of dismantled PSG like that. So
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be an upset somewhere in here. I fear,
yeah,
transparently, I fear it's going to be Barca Atleti, even though it's like probably not the biggest upset in the world. That does feel like a game where we can lose it, and we're going to look back as Barca fans to be like, what the fuck? Like, another year, like, we should have won it. Same thing with
yeah,
Inter. Inter last year is like the big game for Barca fans. Like, I can't believe we fucking lost this Inter team because that was your chance. I'm going to stick with PSG here, but I really like that Liverpool shout. You have fully
yeah,
convinced me. I won't move off Bayern Munich. I feel very convinced on Bayern Munich here versus Madrid. I don't see Sporting getting a result against Arsenal. Barca, of course, I'm gonna stick with my team. That Liverpool, like, I'm not gonna waffle. I'll stick with my take. But I do feel like that PSG team, like you said, it does feel like if there's going to be an upset here, this is a
yeah.
Liverpool team that can pull it off. Maybe Mo Salah's final, like his kind of like final hurrah, because I don't think either one of these teams are going to be Bayern. I think PSG have the best chance, but Liverpool, I think, would get just run over. I think Madrid have a better chance than Liverpool, which I don't know if that's saying much, but probably not because they beat Man City.
I would agree with what you're saying. Like
Yeah,
the fact of if it's Liverpool Munich, I do think Munich kind of run them over.
Yep.
If it's in mine, I have Madrid versus Liverpool, which I think in that
Oh my
case,
God,
that's what
Madrid's going to be in the final.
I I would honestly I could see I could see Liverpool being the team that beats them only because Anfield would be rocking on I believe
Yeah,
Liverpool would get the return leg because they're the higher team.
yeah.
Um and Anfield would be rocking with Trent coming back. Like
Ooh,
it would be like a rocking
cinema.
atmosphere where
Yeah,
I think Liverpool would be very like the players would be like here we fucking
yeah,
go. Like Anfield's rocking, like Madrid they've beaten us so many
yep,
times in the Champions League final like we can get back at them. So
yep.
I think if Liverpool see Madrid in that semis, I could see it being like a Liverpool in the final of the Champions League. With that being said, if they come up against Munich, I think it's wraps. Like I think Munich
Yeah.
get through, but
Well, we got a little free Pooch fan fiction there. Shout out Pooch.
yeah.
Quick question. Let's keep this one brief, but it's something I was thinking, and it's just us being ball knowers. Would you rather play the first leg at home or you want to play the second leg at home?
Second
I've,
leg at home,
okay,
always.
I always agree with that. And I've seen people say the opposite, like, oh, I want to set the tone early. But I'm like, I
No.
kind of rather come back with, like, it's the same thing, like, I don't know, in penalties, some people are like, oh, I want my team to shoot first. I'd actually rather my team shoot second. So that
No.
way,
I'd rather shoot first, less pressure.
I guess. I
I've
like the idea that we
I'll say
control
this.
it.
I'll say this. I've seen 2 penalty kick shootouts over the past week, and that's Italy
Yeah.
Bosnia and West Ham Leeds.
Okay.
West Ham and Italy both shot second and lost.
Okay.
I do think that there is a mental part of that where it's like the pressure ramps up. Now, in the early stages, I don't think it matters. Like if you're shooting first or second, it's like
Right.
it doesn't matter. But when you get to like the 4th and 5th spots and it's still like tied up, or maybe you're down one and you know your penalty kick, if you miss, you lose. Like I do think that's when like that
Maybe
shooting second sucks.
maybe this is where like I'm just a mentality monster. I actually like I want to shoot second because I want the pressure of it where I'm like, all right, we just like our last guy missed. I need to score this to win or sorry, to stay in. Like I'd rather put that in my hands.
But imagine doing that in front of like 80,000 people who are screaming and jeering.
I'm not
Like,
worried about that.
I'll also say this. I would agree with your take I would agree with the take to play the first leg at home if the away aggregate was still there.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, I do think taking away the away aggregate changes things where now you are like, let me play the second one at home, because if they score 2 goals and we're still up whatever it is, like, I feel confident that
I miss the away. You know that? Like, it's probably a better
Oh,
product now.
I don't.
I kind of miss the away, though. Like, there was
Not
something
at
fun
all.
about having to do the math. And, like, I mean, the whole Barca remontada kind of, like, depended on that. But, yeah, that was us talking Champions League. Anything else you got to say to the people, Pooch, or should we end this thing? Give them a nice short episode, nice compact.
Give them something compact, like a RAV4.
Okay. Yeah, that's compact truck. And you know what else is compact? The new Toyota RAV4, 4x4 wheels, built to take on all terrain, packed in the family, calm style. No, that's it from us. On Thursday, or I guess on Friday, we live on a different schedule. On Friday, we will have an exciting interview with James Murphy. He has decided to join the show. Yes, we are just going to pretty much interview every Murphy that we meet that has played pro soccer. That's kind of the goal. We're also USL guys now, which is pretty cool. We interview one USL guy, and now we interview them all. So if you have USL questions, maybe chime in. Me and Pooch will answer them. We'll become pros on it. We should start doing like a little bit of a mailbag. I think that'd be a good thing.
Yeah, we could. Let's do that for next episode. If you have,
How about Ask a Pro? How about Ask a Pro? If you made it this far, you can send us a question, and we will ask your question to the pro. I'm gonna make some posts on Instagram, and we'll make one that's mailbag, and you could submit, I don't know, Google form. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Definitely respond there. Other than that, Pooch, got anything left to say to these beautiful people?
Nope. Enjoy the footy this week.
Enjoy the footy. Class is permanent. Form is temporary. That's it from us. Peace.